Wildfires are leaving a trail of destruction amid record-breaking heat in the West.
We face the possibility of one of the worst wildfire seasons in state history.
New fire restrictions are going into effect today.
Brush fires lead to brush fire bans all over the country, especially in California. We're going to review a product that enables you to have a fire even if there's a fire ban. Let's check out the Firecan by Ignik. Okay, let's go over the specs. This weighs about 12 pounds. It's 15 inches long, 11 inches high, and 7 inches wide. This can burn up to 2.5 hours on a 5-pound tank. Quick ignition hole on the bottom. It has feet on the bottom so that it grips pretty much every surface. And it also has a quick connect section, which is really nice. So you don't have to screw a bunch of stuff on and worry about cross-threading. Now, the other side, on the propane tank side, you do have to screw that on. So that brings us to the hose. The hose is your standard gas line hose on all your barbecues, things like that. The one section has a quick connect, like I just said, and the other section is a screw-on with a regulator. This is super convenient because the quick connect is really fast, and all you gotta do is screw it onto your propane tank and you're good to go. You can regulate how high your flame goes with the regulator. I don't have a 5-pound tank, I just have a 20-pound tank. They're really cumbersome to lug around. The 5-pound tanks are a lot easier. Ignik does make a growler, and that growler comes in like a case, and it's all set up and ready to go. All you gotta do is refill it. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna talk about are lava rocks. Do I need them? Do I not need them? I don't know. So I put lava rocks from our fire pit at home into the Ignik Firecan, and I wanna preface this with, please use lava rocks, or rocks that are specifically designed to be inside of fire. If you just use any random rocks, they will explode. So please use lava rocks. I put lava rocks in here. I have half and half in here to kind of show you what it looks like. It really disperses heat a lot better when you have the lava rocks in there, because the rocks over time will heat up and they'll emit heat in more of a circular pattern. Whereas if you just have the burner and you light it and let it go, it's gonna disperse heat straight up and not sideways. And so when you're next to this thing, you really kind of want it heating you up from the side. Now, like I said, this is the lowest setting that it goes. This thing rips. You cannot sit this close. I'm like a hand's width away from this thing. On the lowest setting, it's still hot right next to me. But if you had it on full blast, I'd have to put it like, you know, an arm's length at least away. So that being said, I would use lava rocks. That's my recommendation. Ignik says that you could use either one. It doesn't really matter, but for heat dispersion, I would use lava rocks. They do sell them on their site. I'm just using like our fire pit lava rocks, which is the same stuff essentially. You can get that on their site as well. So they have a growler, they have lava rocks, they have all these things that does come in a kit, so you can buy this in a kit as well. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the setup of how I set this up and how fast it is to set up. First things first is we're gonna undo the legs. After you extend the legs, you're gonna want to open the can and take off the lid. Once you've done that, you can take out the stuff that you have inside. So inside, I keep a lighter, ignition hose, or I keep the ignition hose. I keep the hose for the fuel, as well as the lava rocks that are already inside. So you're gonna go ahead and take out your hose, connect your hose to your propane tank, as well as the fire can. Once you've done that, you can go ahead, turn your propane on, regulate how much flow is coming out, and then stick your lighter through the ignition hole and light it up. Be careful not to, they have an on-off on the regulator. Be careful not to set that thing to full blast. Just like any ignition source with propane, like barbecues and fire pits and things like that, you want to go low and work to high. So set it at a low setting, light it, and then let it go. After you've regulated your fire, you're gonna want to sit back and relax, and maybe use something like the chair that I'm sitting on now, which is our next review. If you wanna see that, go ahead and click up here. Let's go over some pros and cons of the fire pit. Oh, actually, we're not gonna go over pros and cons because we're gonna go over the questions. I'm gonna go over some questions that you guys might have. The first one that I saw a lot of people ask was, can I use this with my RV fuel source, basically LP or whatever else they have inside of their RVs? I don't know RVs because I built a van without fuel in it. I bring my own fuel source, which is propane. that being said, I'm sure you could if you really had knowledge of the system of the RV and how it worked, and if you had an extension hose and you had all the things to hook it up, you probably could. Now, it's not recommended. Ignik is going to say 100% use propane. It is the only fuel source that they want you to use. The second question that a lot of you guys asked was, can I use this with a 1 pound propane tank? The short answer is yes, you just have to buy an adapter for the propane tank. But the long answer is, it's not great for the environment, so go ahead and get yourself a 5 pound, 10 pound, or 20 pound tank. The next question is, how long can this burn? And that just depends on the altitude, what the ambient temperature is, also what size tank you have. So a 5 pound tank, according to Ignik, is gonna be about 2.5 hours. Okay, now we're gonna go over the pros and the cons. The first pro that I have is that this is such a small and portable fire. It is such a cool design in that everything folds up super tight, it fits in the van really well, and it's not super cumbersome. The second one in relationship to that is gonna be that I don't have to haul around a whole bunch of firewood. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have 3 kids, and when I have to get to a campsite and I have to set a fire and I have to do all this stuff, and then I got kids running away and we're literally just doing like s'mores or something like that, it is so nice to just be able to like plug in your propane, let her rip for like 20 minutes while the kids make s'mores, shut it down, put it off to the side, let it cool down, and I'm good. Another pro is that I can use this during a fire ban. I don't have to use wood burning fire during a fire ban, and in California, we get them all the time. Number 4 or 5 during the pros of this is that you can pretty much use this thing anywhere, and number 6 or 7 or 8 of this is that this is smokeless. There's no smoke, it's just heat, with no more campfire smell when you're sitting in your van stinking up the whole van. Let's go over a couple of the cons. There's 2 main cons. The first one is that this doesn't put out enough heat for a lot of people. Where this is gonna be utilized is gonna be like 1 to 4 people. 4 people probably the max. I utilize this for beach camping so that we can do s'mores and that we can have a little bit of heat for the kids. So for me, that's not a con, but I know for some people that will be. The second con is that this doesn't have like a diffuser on it. So some of these fire pits will have like a shield that will come out and they'll disperse more heat. This doesn't necessarily need that. If you do put the lava rocks in there, the lava rocks will heat up, contain that heat, and they'll disperse it evenly to the sides of your fire can. Put some lava rocks in there, you're good to go, man. This thing's gonna keep you real warm. So what are my thoughts on the Ignik Firecan? The Ignik Firecan is amazing for how small it is. It puts out great heat for colder nights, colder days, and I know that I'm gonna be using this on every camping trip that I have. It enables me to bring a fire pit wherever I wanna go, which mainly is the beach. Another thing I really love about this company is that they're 1% for the planet. I'm gonna leave a link down below so that you guys can check Ignik out. Well, that's it for me, guys. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. Leave me a comment below of what gear you love. Then I can do the reviews on the gear that you guys love and that you guys want to see reviewed. We'll see you on the next one.